hello. It's me. So, the BBC have doctored a Trump speech. And there's plenty of coverage, of course, but and you've probably already seen the video, frankly. But I thought, let's give it another quick look. Oh, God. So, a bit of context with regards to the BBC for people who don't know. The British Broadcasting Company is an august organisation here in the UK that during the war really solidified its reputation for delivering to the world the best, the most accurate, I would hesitate to say impartial because of the war, and they were fighting for the survival of the UK. So, but certainly on other topics, the most impartial news service that was available at the time. It was the gold standard. Other news services copied the BBC. They were that good. And now, many decades later, we find ourselves here. Side-by-side comparison of the BBC edited Trump speech from the day of the Capitol attack with the original alongside it. Now, the BBC in the UK has the licence fee. And that's now, I think, about 200 quid, which I pay because I watch, at the moment at least, a programme on the BBC, so I have to pay that. And do I think it's fair, the licence fee? No. I don't think we should pay it at all. I don't think it should be a thing. I think the BBC should have ads. But the BBC has grown comfortable and fat over the years, extracting money from everyone in society, from the richest to the poorest, without fear or favour. It doesn't care how poor you are. And I disagree with that, of course. But this situation, shall we call it, of the doctoring of the speech, has led to some fallout. So, shall we?
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So, there it is. Now, this isn't open for debate. However, the BBC has, in an admission, stated that it edited the piece in order to give its context on what it thought its viewers thought the speech was about. Think about that for a second and ask yourself, where's this famous impartiality? Now, this is a bit of a rabbit hole. And the real question here is, what forces were at play behind the scenes to make this happen? Now, it's one thing, the BBC being used to tell UK citizens what it should be thinking, which it does regularly. It skews political debate and perspective, and it does so very skillfully. But obviously, as we've seen recently, not all the time. This was clumsy, and when it was aired, people started to call it out. President Trump himself said that the BBC were fake news. And Caroline Levitt, after the resignation of Tim Davie, the head of the BBC, and then his, I believe, possibly second in command, a woman whose name escapes me now, tweeted, what was it? Shot chaser? In a rather humorous tweet. 2 for the price of 1, we would probably say here in the UK. So what does this mean? President Trump has asked for restitution, compensation, a full admission of what the BBC did, full admission, and a full apology. He wants, brace yourselves, $1 billion to settle. Otherwise, it's going to court. And the BBC only have till Friday to do so. And today is Wednesday. So another question you might rightly ask yourself is $1 billion. What does that mean for the BBC? Is its purse deep enough? Will we, fee payers, have to pay? Because the BBC has grown fat and comfortable doing what it's doing, extracting wealth from the citizens of this country. And you can bet your bottom dollar it's not going to die quietly. The BBC have been trying to avoid ads or the running of ads to pay for the service in lieu of the license fee that we, the citizens, have to pay. And they have resisted every attempt to have the adverts on the service. But now, I'm going to make a prediction. In the wake of this self-inflicted debacle, we will have ads on the BBC. But guess what? It won't replace the TV license. It will be in addition to the TV license. And the BBC will waste no opportunity in blaming Trump for a mistake, as they call it, that they made. But let's be clear. This was political statecraft in action. The BBC, doing what the BBC do and acting as an arm of the British state, doesn't like Donald Trump. They did what they did, and it's on show for everyone to see. The BBC's reputation is now in tatters to any right-thinking individuals. The BBC have called it a mistake, but we really know what it was. A clumsy, ill-advised attempt to show him in a bad light, to foment insurrection. As a British citizen sat here looking at this mess unfold, I feel a mixture of both glee and depression. The BBC has grown far too powerful. It acts almost with impunity. It is a cesspit of allegations and suspicions of paedophilia, wrongdoing, misogyny. I could go on. The BBC needs to shuffle off to a quiet place and just die. It has entirely outlived its usefulness. And as it passes from this mortal coil into the great dark yonder, maybe it will reflect on the fact that everything it did that led to that point, it did to itself. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, this is me signing off. Do look after yourselves.